Respected Madam, dear friends, a very good morning to all. I am Mrs. G. Ajita, MSc Nursing first year student in Holy Mary College of Nursing. So, as a part of seminar presentation, today I would like to present on the seminar presentation on play therapy. In the psychiatric mental health nursing, there are number of therapies are present. These therapies are useful for the psychiatric clients to cope up, and these therapies will give the boost to them and improve their immunity system also. So in the list of number of therapies, the most important therapy is here play therapy. So play therapy is a form of counseling or psychotherapy that uses play to communicate with and help people, especially children, to prevent or resolve the psychosocial challenges. So play therapy is a form of counseling. So in the psychiatric mental health nursing or the mental disorders, the most important treatment is giving the counseling. So for adults and older people, we can give the counseling by talking therapy and all those things, because they can communicate properly. But in the children, they cannot communicate properly, those who are having the psychosocial challenges like autism and attention deficit hyperactive disorders. So for these we can use a method of counseling as like play therapy. So play therapy is a child natural medium to learn, communicate and explore their world, because when we are providing the counseling therapy to the clients, psychiatric clients, first we need to understand the problems of the clients. So to understand the clients' problems, first we need to go to their places, and go to their places means the psychiatric nurse should have the quality of empathy here. So empathy here. So because of that only we can collect the good information from the clients. So for the children, play therapy is play as a natural medium to learn and communicate and explore their world. The play therapy allows the children to express their feelings and make sense of and recover from difficult life experience in a safe and trusting environment. So this play therapy is a most important for the children, those who are having 2 to 12 years, and this is 12 years, but this is vary from those who are having the cognitive and developmental delay, or maybe participate in the play therapy at an older chronological age. So when this the time of play therapy is is 30 to 50 minutes, but is different from the individual to individual or client to client, and it's depending upon the disease condition of a psychiatric client. And also the mild issues may improve in 6 to 12 sessions, and complex issues may require up to 40 to 80 sessions. So the goals of play therapy. So if you see, the first goal of play therapy is develop a more positive self-concept. So positive self-concept is nothing but here most of the psychiatric clients may not have the positive tendency or the positive thinking capacity. So when we involve the patients in the play therapy, maybe they can develop a positive self-concept and assume greater self-responsibility. So self-responsibility is nothing but when we introduce the children to play the building blocks, when the child is arranging the blocks in an order, most of the blocks are falling down. So in that particular situation, the therapist is here, the psychiatric mental health nurse act as a therapist. The psychiatric mental health nurse instruct the child to pick up that fallen building blocks and arrange again. After completion of number of sessions like this, automatically, spontaneously the child will pick up those fallen building blocks and again by him or herself itself arrange. So by this the self-responsibility can improve through the play therapy. So become more self-directing, and also become more self-reliant, and also the self-trusting of self. So like by play therapy, the person may improve the trust on its himself or herself. And also the feelings of control, experience a feelings of control, especially it is in the suitable for the teenagers. So most of the teenagers, if you provide a leisure time for the teenagers, they may develop a negative feelings and they may go into a wrong route. So in those persons or the clients, if you guide properly by providing the play therapy, if we involve them into a play therapy, they can control their negative feelings and they can improve they can use their emotions into a positive way. So and the next one is become sensitive to the process of coping. So by involving the time into the play therapy, this is a boosting them to the clients, and it is very useful for coping. So and also the next one is develop an internal source of evaluation. So internal source of evaluation, the play therapy can motivate them to assess their self in internal motivation. If the person is having internal assessment or the self assessment, that is the best sign for the development of a something or development of a goal or development of a success in the life. So these assessment of internal assessment should provide by the play therapy. So the last one is engage in self-determined decision making. So the play therapy can also direct the to the psychiatric client to helps them to take a decision making. So then we'll see the history of play therapy. So in the early 1900 years, Melanie Kellin and Anna Freud included the play in their psychoanalytical treatment of children. So Sigmund Freud is a father of psychologists. He is a great psychologist in the psychology. He introduces psychoanalytical theory in the psychology. In the psychoanalytical theory of a psychology, they included the play therapy for the children. So Melanie Kellin, he was born in the year of 1961 and he was died in the year of 1987. He believed that the child are already having the imaginary world in their brains. When we involved them into the play therapy, spontaneously they should react, and play was a substitute for the free association used within the adult psychoanalysis. In the year of 1940s, Carl Rogers established a new model of psychotherapy, that is client-centered therapy. So Carl Rogers is a great psychologist in the psychology. He introduced a client-centered therapy. Client-centered therapy is nothing but is one of the method of counseling. The counseling method is a very, very, very important in the psychiatric mental health nursing. So by this counseling sessions only we can cope up the patients. 50% of the patients may recover from the psychiatric disorders. So in the counseling methods, there are number of methods are present. If you see the methods like group counseling method and individual counseling methods, these two methods we can follow more and more. So the group counseling therapy is nothing but will provide the counseling to the group of people that involves 8 to 10 or more people. So here the client-centered therapy is nothing but individual therapy. So here we can provide the counseling to the only single client. So it will give the more and more benefits. Because the therapist should concentrate on the only particular client. But for this client-centered therapy is very, very important that the relationship between the therapist and the client is very important. By the good relationship only we can bring the benefits through the client-centered therapy. So Virginia May Axelin was a great psychologist. She was born in 1971. He developed a new therapeutic approach for working with the children, that is non-directive play therapy. Utilizing the person-centered theoretical functions, and Axelin formulated a clear and concise play therapy and theory and method. So the Virginia May Axelin was a psychologist. He worked with the children play therapy, and also she is a expert in using of play therapy in the formation of precise and concise method, so that will be easily understand to the children, and it will bring the more effective in a manner of recoverment from the psychiatric mental disorders. And also the psychiatrist Virginia May Axelin, in the year of 1964, she wrote a book that was named as Dibs in Search of Self, which describes how she worked with Dibs and how she was able to heal himself over a period of time. So the Virginia May Axelin she is a great psychologist. She is telling that no one ever knows as much about a human being's inner world as the individual himself. So everyone is the responsible. Freedom grows and develops from inside the person. So internal motivation is important for everyone. So here there are theoretical basis of therapy. Play therapy is based upon three critical theoretical principles. That is, first one is actualization, and the second one is the need for positive regard, and the third one is play as communication. Though if you see the first principles of play therapy, actualization. Humans are motivated by an innate tendency to develop constructive and healthy capacities. So here innate tendency is nothing but internal motivation. The humans must motivated. Self motivation is very, very important. If the person is having self motivation, that should be gives a better effects and to develop constructive and a healthy capacities. The individual should motivated by his or himself. Then only the person can able to achieve a more success in their life. That was self actualization. The second principle is the need for positive regard. So all the people require and all the people may expect that warmth, respect from the others, and also in case of this we need to expect the respect from others. So and we need to give and we need to provide the respect and warmth and care to the others also. And the third one is play as communication. So the psychiatric client itself, we discussed in the introduction part itself, the play therapy is used for the process of communication in the children. So to the more than 12 year age people, we can deal with the communication, but children, they cannot speak out, they cannot express their feelings and emotions and all those things. So this play therapy can act as a communication with the children. Virginia May Axelin, basic principles of non-directive play therapy. So she introduced a non-directive play therapy. What is that non-directive play therapy? We'll see. So the therapist must, the psychiatric mental health nurse should act as the therapist. So to first before going to involving the clients in the play therapy, the nurse should develop the therapeutic nurse and client relationship and friendly relationship with the clients, and then we should accept the client as it is. We should not ignore them, and we should not discourage them, their problems and their feelings. We should accept how they are. Then only the relationship will develop properly. So and also establish a feelings of permission in the relationship. Is allowed to recognize the feelings the child is expressing. Any reflects these feelings back in such a manner that the game gains insight into his or behavior. So if we involve the child in the one method of play, so in the after completion of number of sessions in the play therapy, so we need to involve the client in one play therapy. So when we are giving the instruction to the child, so the writtenly the child is giving reflexes of their feelings. That is a good sign that the child is thinking and gaining the insight into his behavior. And also maintain a deep respect for the child ability to solve his or her problems, to give the child the opportunity to do so. So we need to provide a deep respect to the client, and also we need to give the opportunity to ventilate their feelings. So this is a very, very important in the field of psychiatric area. And does not attempt to direct the child's actions or the conversation in any manner. So does not hurry the therapy long. So hurry long therapy we cannot provide. The play therapy should be provided in such a good and pleasant manner, and only establishes those limitations necessary to anchor the therapy the world of reality, and to make the child aware of his and her responsibility in the relationship. The next, procedure of play therapy. So the play therapy in the playroom. So the necessary elements within the playroom are the child, the therapist, and the relation should be between the psychiatric nurse and child, or the psychiatric client should be it should be in a form of good therapeutic relationship should be formed. Then only we can proceed with the clients. Otherwise we cannot proceed with the clients, or we cannot expect the good results from the client. The play therapy space is usually a designated room set up in a particular and predictable way. Okay, so within the room there are a wide range of expressive tools and toys. So in the playroom all the types of toys should be available, like music, drawing, and etc., because by playing with these play games only, the children, especially the children those who are having autism, they can develop the thinking capacity and insight of their behavior. So the toys should include in the playroom like dress setups and masks, musical instruments, puppets, toy animals, toy weapons, and military characters, superheroes, books, vehicles, building blocks, a dollhouse and dolls, balloons and balls and tables. So therapy rooms as needing to contain something to represent everything in the child's world. So the thing whatever is having in the playroom, that should be represent any positive thought in the mind of a child. Gurney 2011 outlined that range of toys allow a child to understand that range of behaviors are permitted in the playroom. So Gurney is a great psychologist. He is also a great psychologist. He tells that that number of toys what we are having in the playrooms, that models can represent the ideas and thoughts in the minds of a children. And also the toys that support issues of aggression, regression, independence, and mastery are as important as toys that foster nurturing, acceptance, and containment. Therapeutic stages in play therapy. So there are several stages in play therapy. The first stage is here, the intake and interview. So interview is the one of the stage. Interviewing is nothing but the stage of assessment. So here the nurse should before assessing to bring the correct problems in the method of assessment, the nurse should maintain a good communication skills, and first and foremost thing is the therapist, the nurse should maintain the good relationship with the client. Then only the assessment data should be corrected clearly. And also in the psychiatric area, we cannot completely depend on the client information. We can also ask the client's relatives or the family members, because the nurse should ready to ask the family members also, because we cannot reliable on the information of the client. Next one is pre-treatment assessment. So pre-treatment assessment includes what are all the complaints that a patient has given in the interview sessions, whether those complaints are correct or not, or the complaints to how much status the complaints are having, and the disease condition has landing on. To assess that, we need to give some questionnaires or the rating scales to the clients, and by the rating scales we can assess to what extent the patient is having the disease condition. And the next one is introduction phase. Introduction phase includes that during this phase your child will getting used to the play therapist, the playroom and play therapy process. The more shy and anxious your child is, more difficulty this period may be. So the introduction phase is the very important, and this is a very somewhat difficult, because the first phase during the first phase of play therapy, the child may not cooperate with the therapist. Because of that reason, the nurse should have the good therapeutic relationship with the client, and also she need to agree with the client. Next, tentative acceptancy. Tentative acceptancy is this stage begins after more one or several sessions, and this is the period when you or your child feels anger to go the counseling. So after the completion of the number of sessions, the child may develop to show enthusiastic in the play therapy. So this is a good sign. And then the last one is negative reaction phase. So in the negative reaction phase, so this is one thing is here more difficulty stage, because here the child may develop or shows the feelings and changes, because the play therapy has taken through the play therapy some of the